Hi, this is explanation of a randomizer before the promise is using a callback method. All right, so first of all, we're gonna see the required is fs using the fs library of Node, um, and then using the knuth shuffle. So I researched it. It's basically using some kind of a package a shuffling basically engine that is in a part of npm install. So in the beginning, actually, this one didn't work. Realized I need to reinstall the npm. So after that, it actually worked out okay. All right, and then randomizer in file out file requires two, and then lib and randomizer will process that later. In files, you're going to use a UTF-8, like we have seen before in the copy JSON, and then taking error and data. First, if the file cannot read UTF-8, it's going to return error. And but if not, it's going to move on to to take the data and then split into by new line. So /n is the new. So every time there's a new slash, it's gonna split it and make a new line of array. So data array. And then data array is the data array dot filter line line length bigger than 0, which means if it's not blank, basically bigger than 0 line length, and then we're going to update the data array. So the data array before and then another data array after the filter, and then take the data array, and then we're going to be giving the const a random line. So take the data array and slice 0 and shuffle it. Okay, it's going to shuffle, and then once it's all the process done here, if we're going to write a file using these random lines, out file, and then random line join n, and then flag and arrow. So flag, and the last one is the callback function, right? So adding function. File. This was the filter. Last time was null, and then flag w is I think it's some kind of a method. Okay, so again, fs file, and then random line, and then yeah, error. So cool. And then after that is the error. If this error is throws it's just console, it's going to console error, and then if not, it's going to say, hey, it's randomized. Okay, so that's the callback method of the randomizer. Okay, sorry that I got cut off earlier, but I'm sure you can catch up later. All right, this is I just solved, and then I just wanted to explain what I did with it. Same thing, const shuffle. Require knuth shuffle, and then randomizer is just all the way same up to here, before and after. Function in file out file, and then we're going to use out file flag because we're using flag w. Out file flag is going to be used this later on. Okay, and now we're going to create a promise constructor. I think that's what it's called. And it's going to be new promise is going to be a callback function. So inside const promise read file function, we're going to add a new promise, right? So, and it's going to take a file name and option. File name in file, basically in file, and the option will be the UTF later. We're gonna plug that in file UTF, right? So it will go over here. Go later over here. Okay, cool. All right, we're still in the inFile function. The file name option, UTF, and then return new promise. Every time you add a new promise, resolve reject is always the part of this equation, and then arrow. And inside the arrow, we're gonna invoke the fs.read file, file name, option, arrow file data. Let's see what that means. I'm flickering out too. Okay, file name, fs read file, file name, in file, option, UTF-8, and error, and then data. They call it file data at this time. All right, error, reject error or resolve. This is the promise function, and now we're going to invoke that later on with the with the then and catch. All right, second, the promise write file function, file name. Let's see, write file, file name, out file, write data, random line.join. So basically, this is going to be the data, and then option is going to be later. We're going to be using the outer out file flag. So that's just a placeholder as an option. Return promise, resolve reject as usual, and then you're going to still have to wrap up with the fs to write file, file name, fs write file. File name is here is out file, write data is random line join. So basically this and this is same thing. So I don't exactly know why it repeats here and here. I'm assuming this thing needs to be somehow included in there. So that same thing happened here too. Basically, in file, out file, and let's see. Oh yeah, file name option and file name option. These are somehow same. Cool. All right, so we are next is error, reject, resolve. This time we wrote write data versus file data, right? Okay. I think they just changed the different name. I guess this is file data we're reading, and write this data we are outputting. So we call it write out data. This gets really interesting. So you could const and then write a function and then put the constant name here to invoke it, or we could just write the entire function here. I have decided to write the entire function here. In the solution branch, is the other way, but I'm deciding to put all the function here, and later probably I could maybe take it out and then put the function name after that. So that's just different way to do this. Up to you. Okay, so one thing I noticed is in the original before, where is it? Data split. Data split is data array. Okay. But somehow I didn't do that for some reason. So data split, and then I created it. This is functions. So this is parameter data, and then data split. And okay. And then what this happens next argument that's passing is become this. So this is the function, and this is a function name. They become a function name. This is what you're passing, and now we're gonna pass this of result. Then data split filter line, and then inside filter, of course, is gonna be another functions. So maybe there's a better way to split this because now we're just doing another callback using a then. So that might be a bad practice, but for now this is what's happening. All right, so once this is wrapped up, the result of it is going to be this data array, whatever you call it, right? As long as like you can zebra, you know, it's like whatever it's something above become the result of the bottom. I don't know if there's a better way to explain, but this become data split. This become data array. So it's just like going up, down, and down, and down, okay? So it technically it'd be like data array equals, well, anyway, so, and then data array is a shuffles data array slice. So I'm just like basically copying down here, data split. This data split filter array, For some reason they use the data and updated it again, but instead of that I just created a different name. This was data, and this is data split, and then we added a filter. So instead of data array, I just called data split filter, and then after that, whatever the result of this, I called it data array. And then, so instead of become a random lines, I think it become a data array. I think the whole thing is a random line actually now. So shuffle data array slice data array. Oh, this is the argument, not the function name. Argument. And once you pass the argument, it becomes the function name, random lines, right? And the random line becomes part of the argument again, just like here. And then random lines and part of argument, and then invoking the promise write file, which is we did this. Promise write file, write file, out file, random line, join, flag, out file flag, just like we did the last time at the JSON. And then, if it's still succeeding, it's going to be randomized, console randomized. Same thing. And if everything fails, catch error. So basically console error. Here is console error. Here is console error. I think there's one more time. Oh, there's only 2 errors on mentioning here. But so anyways, we only have to mention one time because this catch does the error every time. If any of this then is failing, then we're going to be doing this. So this is the pretty much entire process. I'm sure there's always a trick of become a syntax error issue. So please double check and watch out for that. But this is pretty much in a nutshell. Got a little messy, but I hope you got the idea. All right, thanks.